Good afternoon everyone, I am Abhijit Lade and today we are here to discuss about capillarity. So the topic of discussion for today would be, first we would like to understand what are wetting and non-wetting fluids. Secondly, we would like to understand what is the angle of contact or wetting angle, and lastly we will see what is the phenomena of capillarity. So let's start with the first objective, what are wetting and non-wetting fluids. Now for this purpose I have here two liquids. One is water. In the left container I am having water, whereas on the right container I am having mercury. Now the water has been colored to improve the visibility. Now what we are going to do here is we are going to insert a pen or a solid in both the fluids and let us see what happens. So first I will insert this pen into water. Now I am going to insert this pen into mercury. Now if we observe here, then if we see the surface of the solid, we can observe that water is sticking to the surface of this solid, whereas mercury is not sticking to the surface of the solid. This happens because in case of water, the adhesive forces between the molecules of water and the molecules of pen are more than the cohesive forces of the water themselves. That's why due to this higher adhesion, the water sticks to this pen. On the other hand, the molecules of mercury are having very high cohesive effects. That's why they overcome the adhesive forces between the pen and the mercury. So these type of fluids, based on this property, we can define these fluids, or we can differentiate the fluids into two types. One are called wetting fluids, whereas others are called non-wetting fluids. So water is a wetting fluid, whereas mercury is a non-wetting fluid. So this is our first objective or first topic of discussion, that what are wetting and non-wetting fluids. Now we will go to what is the angle of contact or wetting angle. Now in order to understand the angle of contact or wetting angle, we will again do a demonstration. We will pour this mercury or wetting or non-wetting fluid, into this glassware. Please try to observe the curvature or liquid surface near the glass. Now I will do the same thing with water. Again, observe the surface of water near the glass. I will pour it back. Okay. Now, what you have observed, I have drawn here. In case of water, what we observe, that the surface of the liquid near the wall or near the glass is curved upside like this, and in case of mercury, the curvature of the liquid or the surface of the mercury was curved downwards near the glass. Now why this thing happens? If you see the molecules of water near the glass, what you will observe is that water is a wetting fluid, Hence, the cohesive forces of water are less than the adhesive forces between the water and glass. That's why the glass pulls or sticks more to the, or the water sticks more to the glass than water itself. That's why the liquid surface near the glass is curved upwards. The opposite case happens in case of a non-wetting fluids such as mercury, where the molecules near the walls are attracted highly towards the mercury due to the high cohesive effects. That's why the curvature or liquid surface near the wall and near the glass and mercury is curved downwards. Now, due to this curvature, if we draw a tangent at this liquid solid interface like this, and then the angle made by this tangent with the solid glass is called as angle of contact or wetting angle. Angle of contact or wetting angle. Now, you can easily understand from this demonstration that for wetting fluids the angle of contact would be less than 90. Whereas for non-wetting fluids which are curved downwards due to high cohesive effects, the angle of contact phi would be always more than 90. This is the way in which we define wetting and non-wetting fluids based on the angle of contact or wetting angle. The fluids for which the wetting angle is less than 90 will be termed as wetting fluids, whereas the fluids for which the angle of contact is more than 90 would be termed as non-wetting fluids. So this is nothing but the angle of contact. Now, keeping these two things in view, we will move to our next objective, that is what is capillarity. Again, in order to understand what is capillarity, we will do one simple demonstration. Here I am having a pipette. The diameter of pipette is very small, and I will dip this pipette in both wetting fluid as well as a non-wetting fluid, and let us see what happens. So I will first insert the pipette in a wetting fluid. Okay. Now I will insert the same pipette in a non-wetting fluid, that is mercury. In order to see what is happening, I will just put this near the wall. Now what you have observed, let us see. When I have dipped the pipette or small diameter capillary tube in a reservoir of water, that is a wetting fluid, the level of water in the tube has gone up, which was very visible. Whereas when we inserted a small capillary into a reservoir of mercury, which is a non-wetting fluid, what you observed was the level of mercury in the tube went down. This particular rise or fall of liquids in small diameter tubes with reference to the level of liquids in the reservoirs is termed as capillarity. If the liquid level inside the tube goes above then the reservoir level, we call it as capillary rise, and if the level of liquid in the capillary tube goes down, then the reservoir level, we call it as capillary drop. Now, why this capillary action takes place? The reason for capillary action or the reason for capillary rise or capillary drop is the surface tension force. As we have seen that in case of water, the angle of contact is less than 90, and that's why the surface of water is curved upwards near the glass tube. Now we all know that surface tension force always acts parallel to the surface, and the surface tension force here will act parallel to the surface along the angle phi. Okay, so this phi is acting along the surface. Now this surface tension force is acting on the entire periphery of the water inside the tube. Now due to this upward surface tension force, the vertical component of this force, sigma cos phi, is acting on the liquid. Due to this vertical component of surface tension force, the water inside the tube will rise inside the tube till the weight of the water is balanced by this surface tension force, the vertical component of this force, which is sigma into cos phi. So if h is the rise of water in this capillary tube, then we can find an expression to calculate or to find how much is the capillary rise. So let us do that. So if I will assume that small d is nothing but the diameter of this capillary tube, small d is the diameter of capillary tube and h is the capillary rise. Now the weight of the liquid in this capillary tube is given by, let us calculate weight of fluid W. The weight of the fluid is nothing but volume of the fluid and density. Volume into density. Now what is the volume of this much liquid? Volume is nothing but the cross sectional area into the height. So cross sectional area is given by pi by 4 d square and height is given by h. Also density is given by rho into g, where rho is nothing but the mass density, g is the acceleration due to gravity. So this is nothing but the weight of the liquid which is acting on this capillary tube. Now this weight of the liquid is balanced by the vertical component of the surface tension force. So how much is the vertical component of this surface tension force? That also we will calculate. We denote the surface tension by sigma. So the vertical component of sigma would be sigma. Vertical component of sigma is equal to the surface tension intensity into the length upon which the surface tension is acting. So if sigma cos phi is the surface tension intensity, then it will be acting on this entire circumference of this liquid. So we will multiply this intensity into the circumference, that is pi into d, as it is acting on the entire circumference. Now we will equate both these forces and get the expression for capillary rise. So by equating both the equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2, we get h is equal to 4 sigma cos phi upon rho g d. Here h is in meters, h is nothing but the capillary rise or capillary drop. Sigma is the surface tension in newtons per meter. Phi is the contact angle or wetting angle in degrees. Rho is the mass density of the fluid in kilograms per meter cube. Small d is nothing but the diameter of the capillary tube. Now this same formula can be used also to calculate the capillary drop. Capillarity effect is seen only when the diameter of the capillary tube is less than 6 mm. So this is all about capillarity. I hope you have understood this simple concept of capillarity. Thank you.